Welcome sport fans to another Blood Bowl match report, and it is Only Fangs playing against the Black Lions Dark Elves team. Now, as I gave up on trying to keep my team rating down, I bulked out both my team and my number of rerolls, so we had a hefty amount of petty cash. At least I didn't have any treasury that could be stolen for the fourth game in a row. Albeit my opponent spent the gold as such, no less than 360,000, on the following: a Nuffle roll that gives -1 on my rushes, and both Cleo Valentine and Sabine Demonia showing some bad habits, meaning they had Loner 2+, as well as bringing along Morg N Thorg. And then we were up for a game between the numbers 5 and 8 in the league. If I could take the win, I could form a gap of at least 11 points on the first non-qualifier for the playoffs, and maybe grab 1 or 2 bonus points along the way, which would give me some peace of mind during the coming 5 to 6 weeks when I wouldn't be able to play. At least both my claws and my tackle skills would be handy today. We opted, of course, to receive first. I always do that given the choice, and my team started out by trying to keep the Star Ogre as much to the ground as possible, not managing any injuries in those first turns despite going through his armor regularly. But then Sabrina Sabak smashed through his witch elf, Roberta Vonner, badly hurting her upon which the apothecary pumped her full of stims to continue the match. The ball kept going to and fro during the first half, but not much actually happened. While my claws frequently could open his armor, it only resulted in a single KO and a stunt result for the rest. Even 2 falls in a row by Cathy West with huge modifiers couldn't take Morg N Thorg out of the game. Though being constantly on the floor, the big boy wasn't doing that much, which is a good thing as well, I guess. But right before the end of the first time, the hole finally appeared and Cat Cox ran the 1-0 over the line after getting up, picking up the ball and going over the touchdown line. The ladies adopted their patented femdom kick-off formation to keep the elves on their toes in their final turn, and the half ended as such on a 1-0 lead for Only Fangs. Yeah! Again adopting this for the second half, the elves started with a quick completion for a sneaky star player point, but also started to form a drive upwards with the ball. And then Sabrina's Sabak time began. How calm the first half was, how bloody the second would become with the Minotaur in a leading role. She began by badly hurting his blitzer Hahava false arrow, a punishment for throwing that pass earlier. But then her absolute moment came. She bowled over Morg N Thorg, her claws ripping through his armor. The crowd held their breath as the medical personnel stretchered off the big guy, and then the sheet was drawn over his face. Morg N Thorg was dead. The girls didn't take any effort to try and stop a broken through blitzer though, as now we would have a big advantage in muscle, and allowing them to score the 1-1 quickly would still give me 5 turns to vie for victory. And as such, Shaha Stormseeker put the equalizer on the board. Both teams deployed again, and Only Fangs, and especially Sabrina Sabak, had smelled blood. She immediately badly hurt another one of his linemen, as Roberta Vonner, his witch elf, then pushed Raven Black into the crowd, but luckily it was on the side of the Slaneshi degenerates, and she was led back to the reserve box safely and unharmed. However, the witch elf was then pushed into the crowd herself, and now the bunch of perverts saw their chance. Tolerating only their own girls at that site, they formed a gang train on the screaming elf, and when they were done, she was so badly ridden out she had barely the strength to ever stand again. The witch suffered -1 strength and would be replaced by a new recruit after the game, sent off into an early retirement. His team now in shambles, Cat Cox had a free lane and scored a 2-1, as a result with only a few turns remaining. And that meant the hunt for that pesky assassin was on now, who had been annoyingly hit and running, stabbing my girls all match long. First, Cleo Valentine threw a savage block on another one of his linemen, and the elf was carried off badly hurt. But then a wall was formed, ensuring that the foaming Sabrina Sabak had a solid 3 dice on the assassin in her sights. The Minotaur stormed forward, screaming in rage, and trampled right over the pesky knife wielder. The sneaky bastard was carried off, a niggling injury will remind him of the days he tried to knife down the favorite ladies of Slaanesh. And as such, the game ended with a 2-1 victory for the girls and a hefty 6 casualties inflicted. Well, that went good for the league ranking, another 4 points added to the projected goal, and now occupying 3rd place for the moment, excellent for the 5 weeks I wouldn't be able to play. Apart from a nice haul of star player points and a big haul of gold and an immense team value of 1600, the team saw Sabrina Sabak obtain block, with Abella Danger gained claws because she was, for the second game in a row, elected most youth porn star, due to her putting in a solid control game during the match, keeping the block skilled elves under control in order to prevent them from disrupting my lines. So that went well, and we are really truly and good on the road to the top 8 now, with 3 players both with block and claws. And more fans gathers behind the team as the fan factor raises to 4. We have a lead of 12 points versus the first non-qualifying team, so it should be bridgeable to have a spring break and still be in the top 8 when we can get back to the pitch, which will be the 8th of May against a team of Wood Elves. So, time to injure some more Elfies. From then on, it will be working towards securing the ranking, while hopefully some teams will have caught up a bit in the team rating by then. But now, the girls are off to Hedonist 69, a nice resort of sun, sea, and a lot of booze, to clear their heads and relax for the second half of the season. See you again next time. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Buy me a coffee, like, subscribe, comment, you know the drill. And until our next game of Blood Bowl. Cheers! For watching this video, and if you want to support me, check out the link tree above for all my channels, so you can have a look there, or my affiliate links, so there's a little kickback to the channel for more content. And if you really like, you can always buy me a coffee. Thanks and bye bye.